do enough to fight human trafficking, but it's promised to keep fighting the problem.
This is a call to action. It's a call to conscience. It is a reminder of what happens in many dark places that need light. And we have a responsibility to try to bring that light to these individuals and to these places.
The U.S. lowered Thailand and Malaysia to its lowest rank, Tier 3. The State Department highlighted trafficking in Thailand's sex, seafood and garment industries in its annual assessment of efforts by governments around the world to combat trafficking. A total of 23 countries received that ranking. The U.S. says it will open new detention facilities to house immigrant families caught crossing the border with Mexico illegally. This follows a surge in the number of such families from Central America. NBC News has the story.
With a flood of Central American children and families crossing the Texas border every day, the White House is now trying to bring it under control, announcing today that many immigrants will be sent back home.
Showing up at the border illegally is not a ticket into this country.
Customs officials say more than 52,000 unaccompanied children have been caught at the border since October, along with 39,000 families with children. Most say they're fleeing poverty and violence and were recruited by smugglers. Under pressure, the White House says it will open more facilities to detain adults with children and to speed up removal hearings. Not enough, though, for House Speaker John Boehner, who wants to send the National Guard to the border. In a letter to the president, he said, "The policies of your administration have directly resulted in the belief by these immigrants that once they reach U.S. soil, they will be able to stay here indefinitely." Texas Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar.
We should care for them, we should detain them, and then we should look at immediate or expedited removal.
The administration says it will also spend more than $400 million in Central America to counter poverty and gangs and to help repatriate citizens deported by the U.S. Vice President Joe Biden was in Guatemala today, urging officials there to rein in the uncontrolled exodus. Mark Potter, NBC News, Miami.
Back locally now, there's been an increase in the number of youngsters who committed or tried to commit suicide. As Vicky Kung reports, a suicide prevention group believes parents need to play a larger role in tackling the problem.
To May, these pictures reflect her mood. She draws only when she's happy, but depression drove the colors away from her life when she started university last September. The 19-year-old was close to swallowing a dangerously high dose of sleeping pills.
I was thinking that if I do this thing, so I don't need to face all the pressure.
May was forced to study a subject she didn't like and wasn't very good at.
The family would like me to study in a better university, so I have chosen that university. I think the society has expectation on everyone that you are in the top 3 universities in Hong Kong.
Fortunately, her condition has improved after she sought professional help and decided to change her major. According to figures from the coroner's court, there are more than 1,000 cases of suicide in Hong Kong last year, 29 of them committed by people under the age of 19. That's an increase of almost 40% from the year before. And of the 83 young people who attempted to commit suicide last year, 3 were aged at or below 9. The youngest was 7 years old, and the main cause, stressful schoolwork. Experts say it's a learning lesson for parents as well.
It is the education to the parents more than the education to the children. In Hong Kong, we recently mentioned about we don't want to lose at the starting line. This is again a very wrong value, I think. We try to influence them to set up some value which is more intrinsic for human rather than the value of the career or wealth.
That's why the NGO began talking to both kids and their parents at kindergartens about suicide prevention measures last October.
If you're feeling down or if you have friends who are going through a difficult period, it's always handy to have this emotional first aid kit in your pocket.
It has tips on how to deal with depression and is available for free at all Samaritan Befrienders centers. Vicky Kung, TVB News.
The government will soon launch a pilot scheme to subsidise low-income carers to the elderly. But as Stephanie Choi tells us, there have been calls to expand the coverage of the subsidy to benefit carers of people with disabilities and chronic illnesses.
Dorothy had no one to care for her when she had cancer. She said she believes a subsidy for carers to those with disabilities or illnesses would give them more incentive and resources. The government will launch a pilot scheme that will give between $2,000 and $4,000 worth of allowances to eligible low-income carers to the elderly. Dorothy is one of many individuals who hopes to eventually benefit from such allowances. Community Care Fund Chairman Lo Chi-kwang called on the government to start working on a more comprehensive plan that gives allowances to caregivers of people with disabilities or chronic illnesses.
Development of rehabilitation service, if you consider among all different types of social service, is one of those which is the slowest in terms of its development in the Hong Kong history. And I guess there's a lot of catching up we have to do.
According to the government, senior citizens under the care of eligible candidates of the pilot scheme may not qualify for subsidized community care services. Lawmaker Fernando Zheng pointed out not only is the government scheme not comprehensive enough, it's also flawed.
This is ridiculous because helping or recognizing the work of the carer has nothing to do with the elderly receiving services.
Zheng added the pilot scheme criteria for eligible candidates is too harsh and will not meet the needs of many caregivers. Stephanie Choi, TVB News.
All right, Tony, give it to us.
Well, Italy lost, which means England are definitely out of the tournament now. And the Italians need to win against Uruguay, or at least don't lose against Uruguay. And Costa Rica, they stunned former World Cup winners Italy last night to defy the odds and reach the last 16 of the tournament. But another former world champion France had better luck overnight, scoring 5 goals against Switzerland to keep their campaign on track. Having brushed aside Honduras with relative ease, France were looking to do the same against Switzerland. And from the get-go, it was Allez les Bleus, with Arsenal's Olivier Giroud scoring off a corner in the 17th minute. A minute later, France were 2-0 in front, splitting the Swiss midfield open to allow Blaise Matuidi to score goal number 2. By half-time, Switzerland were 3-0 down, and it was more of the same after the break. Karim Benzema and Moussa Sissoko scored 2 more goals to give France a whopping 5-0 lead by the 73rd minute. Inevitably, the French took their foot off the pedal, allowing the Swiss back in. They scored 2 goals in the last 9 minutes, but the French coasted to a 5-2 romp. In the other Group E game, Honduras were sent packing from the tournament by Ecuador. Carlo Costly gave Honduras hope in the 30th minute. But 3 minutes later, Ecuador were level when Enner Valencia tapped the ball into goal. Valencia proved the hero of his country when he grabbed his and Ecuador's second after the break, scoring off a header to seal a 2-1 win to keep them in the hunt for a place in the last 16. Hearts were broken not just in Italy but also in England after a lively Costa Rica sensationally beat the Azzurri in Group D. England needed Italy to win to keep alive their slender hopes of somehow making it out of the group. But Costa Rica had other ideas as Brian Ruiz got on the end of an excellent cross into the box to make it 1-0 in the 44th minute. Italy looked jaded as Costa Rica deservedly won the game, a result which officially ended England's World Cup campaign. For Italy, they must now avoid defeat against Uruguay or suffer the same fate as the Three Lions. Well, golfing star Michelle Wie stamped her authority at the US Women's Open in Pinehurst, North Carolina. She finished the second round with back-to-back birdies for a 2-under par 68 and a 3-stroke lead heading into round 3 later today. Meanwhile, the tournament's youngest qualifier, Lucy Lee, went on to record her second straight 8 over 78. At 16 over par, she missed the cut by 7 strokes, but can still celebrate an impressive debut.
And finally for tonight, a 91-year-old great-grandmother in the United States is graduating from high school later today. Rosalie Cohn quit school in 1944 to enlist in the Women's Army Corps during World War II. All her brothers were in the military and she wanted to join as well. She served in Europe with distinction, earning several medals, including 3 Bronze Stars. But she missed out on her graduation until now. And her advice to younger classmates? Never give up. That's the news. Thanks for watching.
Good night.
Exercise helps me slim down, but I'd rather enjoy life. This is the French philosophy of beauty.
Originating from France, Onobil Top Slim contains natural extracts of green tea and guarana. It helps you to burn fat and slim down. Now flourish your slender figure like the French.
Enjoy life, enjoy beauty. Top Slim. Onobil.
想盡情體驗美妙嘅成長歷程。荷蘭美素佳怡為寶寶嘅內在健康打好基礎。我哋喺荷蘭擁有自家農場，奶農悉心飼養乳牛，力求至優質嘅牛奶。我哋嘅科研人員採用自家特有技術，充分保存牛奶嘅天然營養，源於天然，薈萃科研，由內更健康成長。荷蘭美素佳怡。
Trivago finds your ideal hotel on the go. Simply choose filters and compare hotel prices from more than 150 websites. Download the Trivago app now to find your ideal hotel at the best price. Hotel Trivago.
Sun Life Financial presents The Weather Report is brought to you by Sun Life Financial.
Rain and grey clouds above Hong Kong again today, as tonight's situation chart shows an active southwesterly airstream is bringing showers to the coast of Guangdong. Up to 5 p.m, temperatures range from 25.3 to 30 degrees Celsius. The current temperature is about 29 degrees Celsius, with the relative humidity standing at 89%. 47.2 millimeters of rain has been recorded since midnight, and the thunderstorm warning is now in force. So Freddie, what's tomorrow like? Heavy rain and thunderstorms. Temperature will range between 26 and 30 degrees, and more showers here and there next week. Tomorrow's air quality health index is forecast at low. The maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 5. Now it's time for weather around the world. Showers in Shanghai and Taipei. Rain in Guangzhou and thunderstorms in Macau. Thunderstorms in Beijing and cloudy in Seoul. Thunderstorms in Bangkok and rain in Ho Chi Minh. Showers in Singapore and Jakarta. Sunny in Karachi and showers in Mumbai. Showers in Cairo and Nairobi. Sunny in Sydney and bright in Melbourne. Sunny in Toronto and New York. Cloudy in Vancouver and San Francisco. Bright in Brasilia and Sao Paulo. Sunny in Paris and Zurich. That's the weather. Have a lovely evening.
It was brought to you by Sun Life Financial. Life's brighter under the sun.
Give me a steak. I need some protein.
It's the ultimate showdown between mind and muscle.
Who needs muscle? But you got the smart. I shall not fear. My muscle will save the day.
Tonight, brains versus brawn wipeout at 8:30 on Pearl.
What's going on? Please, would you do this for me? This phone call. It's my note. Goodbye, John. No.
Shut up!
Monday, Sherlock Season 3 at 9:35 on Pearl.